welcome back to Champion Tree Hunting. Today we are out looking for the largest Kentucky coffee tree in the state of Rhode Island. Now I know for sure it's in this big park I'm at, but I have no idea where in the park the tree actually is. So you're gonna come help me find it. I chose today to come out to this park because it is raining, and as you can see there's nobody else here. I think I'm gonna start in the field because it's easier to see all the trees, and I don't want to go crashing through the brush looking for the tree yet. Thankfully, the Kentucky coffee tree is really easy to identify though, so when I see it, I will definitely know it. And it's also a pretty big tree that I'm looking for today too, so it should stick out. Hey, here's one of my favorite trees. Not the one I'm looking for today, but like the Kentucky coffee tree, this one also has these big long seed pods on it. This is called a catalpa. I'm sure eventually I will get to a champion catalpa and I'll get to tell you all about it. But for now, you just get to take a look. That's probably gonna look so unimpressive when I watch it back. Cool walnut tree. You know, we had one of these in our yard when I was a kid growing up, and we used to play this game. Here's how it went. Walnut roulette. Okay, so it looks like we've reached the end of the field here. So we're gonna go down the opposite perimeter that I just walked up. Somebody made a lean-to under this oak tree. I parked here and I was like, well, that park's not big. I don't need to bring my water. I'll be in and out in like a half hour. And then like 10 minutes later, I'm spending 20 minutes trying to jump up onto a 5.5 foot branch. Hand smells like walnut now. Okay, so I definitely need to get better at identifying trees from a distance because I now walked a full lap around the park. I started right there, walked all the way around the outside into a little enclave on the opposite side of the park, all the way back around, and there's the tree right there. But boy, is it pretty. Hey, I got a little closer and that little one on the right is also a Kentucky coffee tree. I think that one on the left is definitely the champion though, because it is way bigger. All right, so this tree is actually not native to Rhode Island. The natural range is the sort of like lower Midwest, upper South area, just to the west of the Appalachians, like Arkansas, Missouri, Indiana, that kind of place. Although even in its native area, it's pretty uncommon. It tends to be found out in like small pockets of trees or colonies in the woods. The root systems get interconnected. So, you know, maybe these two trees actually have interconnected roots, who knows? Although it's actually believed to have been introduced by Native Americans into non-native areas a long, long time ago because of how useful the wood of the tree is in construction, and also because the seed pods and the pulp of the wood had a lot of use as medicine in Native American tradition. In particular, I read that the pulp of the wood was used as a treatment for insanity. The reason you'll find it way up here in Rhode Island though is because the tree is super hardy and can survive in in a giant range of climates with a whole bunch of different varieties of soil. And because of that, it's used a lot as a decorative tree. So it's planted a lot on like golf courses and parks and in people's yards and stuff, because it doesn't take a lot of work to maintain it, and it'll pretty much just be able to survive whatever Mother Nature can throw at it. Also, a lot of this tree is actually completely toxic to humans and most other wildlife, to the point where the leaves of the tree have seen use as a fly poison historically. One of the reasons the leaves are so toxic is the presence of sapopins, which has given the tree some use as a soap historically. And those sapopins actually make the leaves of the tree particularly toxic to fish. Like I read that some Native American tribes would actually place a bunch of the bean pods and leaves into a stream or a lake in an attempt to kill fish that could later be scooped out of the water. And there's even some reports of cattle actually dying after drinking a bunch of water out of pools that some seed pods had fallen into. All is not lost though, as you could actually cook the seeds that come inside the pods. The figure that I read was for over 3 hours at over 150 degrees Celsius. So you really got to bake it. And after that, the bean pod seeds actually lose their toxicity. And that's where the name of the tree comes from too. Because early settlers of Kentucky used the seeds of the tree as a coffee replacement. And lastly, something really cool is that this tree is actually considered an example of evolutionary anachronism. This is where a trait of a species was evolved as like an adaptation or in coevolution to a species that no longer exists. So in this case, because the pods are too tough for most animals to chew through and too heavy to be carried on like wind, it's commonly accepted that the seeds actually evolved to be eaten and spread by species of North American megafauna that are now extinct. So the fact that that dependency no longer exists can maybe explain part of why the tree is so uncommon, even in its native range today, just because the main way that its seeds were spread was completely dependent on species that don't even walk the planet anymore. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.